Just enter the KBMOD podcast, keyboard, plus mouse or die.
Hello!
Stop.
Welcome. Why do you always... This is my problem. I always do the intros, but someone always interrupts me mid-intro. No one talks when Scott does the intros.
Well, Scott doesn't do them.
Welcome to episode 52 of the KBMOD podcast. We're officially an entire year's worth of KBMOD podcast content at your fingertips.
Alex is showing everyone his fingertips.
Yeah.
And moving them around.
We're a full year. We're a baby. We're like Dan's kids.
Yes.
How old are your kids, Dan?
My daughter is 9 months old. Actually, 10 months now. And my son is 4. So, 4 years.
I remember when they were born.
Really?
No.
Not the first.
I remember when Zoe was born. I don't remember when.
Yeah, that was a little easier to remember. That was a little right around the time. All right.
Right then, we're as you know, we're missing Scott again. That's okay. I'm here to fill in, and I've had 52 chances to remember how this goes. What have we all been playing?
Oh man, thank you,
Dan.
Well,
let's start with you. What have you been playing?
Well, the Steam sales have finally ceased. The madness ended at about 1 p.m. Eastern today, and so I'm kind of glad because I went way over any sort of budget I had planned for myself.
I didn't have much discipline.
No.
It's really hard to not go over budget when things are $3.75.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Those 75% off sales are really, really tempting.
Like Just Cause 2, I had no interest in really buying it, and then it was like $2.74 or something, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have that.
I'm amazed you didn't already own it. It's been on sale like every Steam sale.
I got all the DLC too because
I've never had like interest in it. Like
I saw there was a monster truck in the DLC, instant purchase.
Dan, I'm bringing Scott in. Scott's coming in late.
Yep, that's all right.
That's nice of him.
Look at his face. I may have to redo my screen region here, but that's okay. But as far as what I've been playing, DayZ, which we'll get to in a bit. COD 4, just play a lot of COD 4 still. I don't know why. Game is truly dying, though. Truly is dying.
Well, not Wolfman is living large.
Well, he's not living.
He's dying a lot. That's what I meant. By living large, I meant Dan and I are killing that guy on COD 4 named Wolfman a lot.
And I played Crater, which you guys will get to see tomorrow. Crater is fucking sweet. And what else was I playing this week? Oh, Hard Reset, of course. Been playing a lot of that, so got a lot of that saved up. But more just COD 4 and DayZ recently. So
that's great. And how about you? How about you, Brandon? We missed you last podcast, I have to say.
Yeah. I was glad to see so many tweets that seemed to actually miss me on the podcast.
That's weird. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I don't really know what caused that, but it was nice to see that upswell of emotion.
I think we're all thinking the same thing. Did your students pass your skiing exam?
Well, most of them. Most of them. It's a mixed bag, but
he made all the ones that failed play technician.
Repair the generators. You all suck.
But so I was actually I was gone last week, but the last weekend I tried out Shoot Mania, and I think you guys talked about it a little bit. Honestly, was not really that impressed. I don't really know what I was expecting, but I don't know. I didn't really care for it. What else?
Are you a snake?
Sorry, just look at
Dan temporarily turned into a snake.
Scott Fisher up there. Got me good.
All right,
Scott Fisher, you come in late. You don't have
I fucking neglect responsibilities at work to be here, so don't even talk to me. Okay,
well then
don't tell anyone I said that.
What games are you playing? Then?
2 more tardies and you get before school detention. Did we officially start?
Yeah, we're on what we're playing.
Oh shit. Okay.
Thanks for interrupting, Scott. I really appreciate it.
Oh, sorry, Brandon. I didn't know you were saying anything of consequence. Go ahead. Just kidding. I love you. No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I literally didn't know we were live right now.
God. Go ahead. So anyway, play the little Shoot Mania. Played the little tribes, and I tried out DayZ, which I guess we're going to talk about more later, which I don't really understand yet, but that's about it.
So,
Okay.
What have you been playing, Scott?
I've been
It's really
playing.
nice of you to be here.
I've been playing mostly Blacklight Retribution. I'm loving that game. It's kind of taken me away from Counter-Strike for a little bit, which has been nice. And I've also, we haven't gotten around to playing any Saints Row yet. We got to record some more Fenton. But yeah, pretty much just BLR when I'm playing anything. So all day with the heavy assault rifle with silencer and anything that
wow,
decreases.
you're a dick. Congrats.
Brad? Oh yeah, and okay, and I went full dick and I use incendiary rounds now.
You never
it is
go full
fucking
dick.
game over.
Wow,
It's so
dude. Wow, dude. Why don't you just put a speed set on and use a machete?
And
like
no,
a totem?
Ramada, I'm not going to add you back because you are fucking too good at the game, and you should take it as a compliment that you're removed. Because you always join, and then you just fuck up the game. You always get on the other team. You drop 50 kills. No, we're not adding you back. I'm not. Sorry.
Wow, that was definitive.
Yeah.
I think I know what John's answer is going to be, but what have you been playing, John?
TF2, DayZ, and BLR. Mostly DayZ.
I dueled John for about half an hour in TF2, and it was brutal. And by that I went 31 and 100, guys. It was good. But
It's fun.
yeah, it was fun. What about you, sick Fenton?
You're not getting any cam on Fenton because he's sick? Is that
Yeah, he's scared.
What
How he
did
looks.
I play? I started playing DayZ, and I'm trying to start playing StarCraft more.
You good at that game, dude?
StarCraft.
Yeah, I'm playing practice games for I get
You go
like 50
Diamond Ladder,
practice
bro.
games. No, I'm gonna go Tinfoil League. So
tinfoil? Oh God. I've never really played. I just played StarCraft, the original here and there, but I can't even imagine if I tried to jump into StarCraft 2 now. I'm sure it would be just
in the
too late.
practice in the
What you
practice
do,
games,
dude,
I have like
you
a
just-
fourth wins.
Yeah, you just
or what? What do I do?
just keep dropping supply depots and mass your Marines on one base and all in every time.
Yeah.
And you lose probably 90% of the time, but when you win, it's real sweet.
Wow.
Here's a
I would like-
strategy that fails most of the
I win
time.
like a fourth of my games, but even when I do win, it still feels fucking great because it's StarCraft.
Do
It
people
doesn't
rage
happen
like
often.
mad hard all the time in that game in chat though? Like
No, I play practice games. No one fucking cares in practice games.
practice, yeah. But I mean when you're playing ladders or whatever ranked.
I played like my 5 placing games on my first account.
Were you 0-5?
No, I won 2 of them. I think when I did, I was still bronze, but
Does it happen where you get like lucky and win 5 in a row and get placed way above what you should be? Does that happen to people?
probably not. I don't
I was
know
gonna
how
say
it
that. I'm
works.
sure that happens to people. There's no way that happens to Fenton.
Yeah,
God. Piling it on poor sick Fenton.
yeah, I'm not good at StarCraft. I want to get better though.
That's weird.
It's satisfying.
Didn't know
My
you
jam
had
for
any
RTSs
interest in
back
that
the day.
game
This
at
is gonna
all.
sound weird. Did any of you guys ever play Total Annihilation back in the day? That RTS?
Nope.
The only one.
I think I did an article
The
on
only
this.
RTS games I played are
Played it with Mrs.
StarCraft
Fisher once.
and Command and Conquer. That was wow.
Alex totally annihilated Mrs. Fisher.
Wow. That's real. Alex, thank
Real
you.
mature, bro. Real
No,
mature.
it was all about Warcraft 3. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah,
It's
Nick,
Warcraft.
you're kind of screwed for StarCraft. The stream chat just reminded me you aren't Korean, so
Yeah.
I'm not
no-
even
no.
sure.
The stream chat has weighed in, and you are not Korean.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know that beforehand. I was thinking there was a chance that I was.
Thank goodness you finally went on cam. Oh wait,
Sick Finton.
Well, Scott, if you haven't played the single player of StarCraft 2, you should play
Yeah.
that because it's probably. I think it's the best
Yeah.
RTS single player ever.
I've heard it's pretty good. I've only played a couple missions in.
It's really.
I
good.
used to love, like Command and Conquer. Kane, remember Kane?
Well, let's not go too far into Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer was
Like,
awesome. Just get millions of battle tanks.
It
That's all you
stops at
do.
Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge, and then
No, it stops at Red Alert. Everything.
What was
after
the one
that's
that went all
crap.
first person? You could go first person in it. and
Renegade. I played the shit out
shit? That
of
was
Renegade.
Was it any good?
No, but I still played a shit ton because it was like the only game I had for my computer at the time.
Was it any good? No.
I like how he just says no.
No.
It wasn't. I played it though.
So,
Nice.
as you can see on the, well, if you are looking at the doc, but I have DayZ discussion up here, and that's because, the
Whoa.
game.
like half of us didn't answer what we were playing.
Oh, really?
No,
Ooh.
I didn't.
Or just
John
you?
did.
John did. He's been
Do
playing
you know what
TF2.
half is? There's 6 of us, and one of us hasn't said anything. That's not half. That's
Go
not
ahead,
zero.
Alex. What have you been
well,
playing?
I'm a pretty important.
He
contributor.
counts as half. Wow.
Okay, well, I didn't answer. Sorry.
Well, what did you play this week, Alex? I know
DayZ.
you played the hell out of DayZ.
All right. I was gonna do it because I wanted to segue, and now it's just awkward.
Wow.
And I was
dude.
doing the rapid fire questions for the Twitter. Honestly, wasn't listening to anybody speak.
Well, that's okay. You were doing an important service. That's
I've been
okay.
playing DayZ. Let's discuss it.
Let's discuss
Well,
it.
There
we
you
should
go.
probably
That's a good
discuss that
segue.
Brandon. He looks like he needs a blood transfusion. His color he looks like pretty gray.
Brandon's down to 7,200.
He does
You're
look
pretty
like-
low.
Brandon,
shit.
shake your cam around. We'll give you some painkillers.
So no, but Alex was
Alex
my.
is firmly on the bandwagon. You're loving it, aren't
Well,
you? I always tweets.
What I was gonna say was there's just so much hype, over it, and so I finally got Arma to on the whatever that was Saturday, I think, is when it finally went on sale. And,
Yes, I think it
You
was
can
that.
call it a sale. It's like 60.
$6, cheaper
Yeah,
than
it was only like 40% off or
But
something.
so I wasn't like it wasn't that I wasn't buying the hype, but I was kind of like, well, how clunky is it? And it's really not as clunky as I thought it was going to be. Minus John and Nick both breaking their legs by walking indoors.
Tripping. I think it's
I
tripping.
walked into Dan and broke my leg.
I
The
was like,
tripping thing
what?
needs to be removed. That's dumb. I hate it.
It is.
It doesn't matter because me and Nick both having broken legs leads into Alex's epic trek across the town.
Yeah,
get
and
kicked
John
by
sniping
himself.
dudes while he's got broken legs. I'm
We
sitting
should,
here
we
listening to
should
them.
recant that epic tale. Okay.
It was a
let's hear it.
fantastic
So-
story.
Wait,
Alex is going to
that's
tell
the
you
best
this.
But we
thing
all
about
got
DayZ.
on DayZ, and it is living up to the hype, at least for me. So go ahead, Alex. This was epic, and I had to log out before this happened. I'm pissed.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna start back with Nick Fenton because I
Okay.
like the part where Nick Fenton breaks his leg.
Okay, on a doorway.
It was comical.
Okay, so this is if you've ever played DayZ, we're just we're just north of Balota. We're at the airstrip. It's kind of dangerous. There's zombies everywhere. There could be someone scouring for a weapon. So we're all hiding in this little shacky area. And Nick runs in and I don't even know how you broke your leg. I just remember being in that shack when you broke your leg.
I must have tripped either from you or Dan. And
Yeah, you
that's
tripped
gotta
through
be.
the doorway. So he trips and falls. None of us have gone to a hospital in a long time, so none of us have the morphine we need to help him. So then we start, we talk and we start trekking back to Cherno where the hospitals are. We're going to find something. Anyways, Dan has to log out, so it went from 4 to 3 to 2. So it's now John and I going in there. So no, you got to Cherno, Dan.
Yeah.
you
I
got
was
to
with you
Cherno,
for a
Dan.
while, actually.
I played 8 hours since then. So yeah, we got to Cherno. We get to the outside of Cherno. We're in an industrial type of area, and basically the same thing happens. I think it was Dan. It was Dan again.
Yeah, it was. John already
everyone.
said John ran into me, and then his legs
So we go
snapped.
into an industrial building, and John trips over Dan. So Dan just the bumbly old uncle, running through the wasteland. Oh, sorry. And everyone's tripping over and breaking legs.
Yeah.
And then Dan logs out. So it did go from 4 to 3 to 2 to it's now me.
One
Nick
functional human being.
Yeah, one
Nick is
functional
back
guy.
Nick is back at the airstrip. John is in an industrial building near a tent. So someone's coming back for him. I'm running around Cherno, and I didn't know that actually in hospitals the little box is where you get the supplies from. So I ran to a hospital there's nothing here. So then I ran away and ran to another hospital. It's there's still nothing here. How do I get inside? So I'm running to supermarkets now. Meanwhile, I hear John just laughing hysterically the whole time because John is prone on the ground, only able to crawl, and it's slow in DayZ, with an AK shooting this one guy over and over again. So I don't know what it was like for John, but he started in a corner, crawled to this guy's tent. The guy comes back, he shoots him, crawls over to his body, loots his body, goes into another corner. The guy comes back, shoots him again, loots his body again, crawls over to this little shacky area, shoots another guy.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm running around Chernobyl scared for my life because if I die, then John's dead too. So eventually I get the morphine, I come back. John is still prone, still with a broken leg.
Still prone, yeah.
laying in this little shack area. and I come over and save him, and that is why DayZ is the greatest shit ever. John actually said the best thing is that DayZ is tense the whole time.
Yeah.
That's basically.
Well, DayZ is the kind of game where you can tell a story about
Yeah.
it afterwards.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And there is, to me,
To
there
jump on
is,
the
I've
bandwagon.
played like 2 hours, and to me, there's literally no game like that.
And
Ever.
John also, he tricked a man into following him and then luring him to me and Alex. And he was like, yeah, dude, we got this one guy. He's got like 3 Lee Enfields and 10 blood bags, dude. Just follow us. And then we executed him on top of a building.
After we had him follow us for like probably close to an hour.
And he gave us bandages too. He gave us bandages.
How bad was he? Can you chat right after
He
that?
was.
Oh,
he
he
was
was
pretty
No,
bad.
the first thing we hear is Nick shoots him. It's like, poof, poof. Are you fucking kidding me? That's all we hear. But like lower down in game chat, the dude was so mad.
God, I did that to a guy yesterday too. I was in a grocery store and some guy, he was like, is anybody else in here? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm in the back. And he's like, I need blood, dude. And I'm like, yeah, I've got a blood bag. I didn't have a fucking blood bag. And he comes back and I'm leaning around the corner. I just pop in the face and take his AK. It was so great.
So to start, well, within 20 minutes of starting DayZ, Alex gets me a hatchet. Things are going well, okay? And we see this dude come in. And so this is my first experience, and this is why I'm killing anyone I see.
Oh my
No
God.
exceptions.
Yeah, me too.
We see a guy with a hatchet. That's it. And then the game, like, he got up on the roof with us, and the game, like, kind of lagged. And then we were dead. He had hatcheted us to death.
No, the thing is when I only ever played with John before, and John is really intent on ruining other people's experiences. See the trolling of the guy that we walked around for like 20 minutes with, and then executed him. on top of the building.
He gets giddy when someone dies. Not even if like he
Starts
sees them
laughing.
die, like just thought of somebody dying.
So I'd only played with John, so my only experiences was you see a person, you kill him. So I'm playing with Dan now, and Dan's new to the game, so I'm like, oh, I'll try it differently now. So I was giving this guy a bandage, and I'm scrolling through my menus to push to talk to him, and all of a sudden I'm fucking dead. He hatcheted us, and I was giving him bandages.
And then, we did get our stuff back, because then Nick Fenton came in
I
and
came with the
hatcheted
ladder.
that guy to death.
Yeah, while he was looting you in the little menu, I came and hatched him. It was like a bunch of Christian Bales like hatching, bringing out like axes and.
But it was ridiculous. But the game is awesome, and I don't think we're gonna stream it because I've heard bad things about streaming it. But we will probably record some, I would think. But
The game itself is like really hard to run. If you actually turn everything up, you'll get like I get sub 30 frame rates on my 680.
yeah,
Max.
I never dropped that low. I mean, in
No,
the
it-
cities, I'll drop into the upper 30s.
Turn everything on like as high as it
everything
goes.
on.
And well,
You actually want to have shadows on as high as possible in DayZ. This is a little tip for you guys, because anything other than very high shadows will utilize CPU. It only utilizes your GPU if you have it on very
well,
high.
I'm turning that back up then, because I usually
yeah.
that's the first thing I turn off in games. The shadows.
Well, I had a little bit different experience. I've only played for maybe an hour, but like it has so many bugs. I had the opposite experience of you, Dan. Like I did not expect it to be quite as buggy as it is. Like just trying to get into a server is difficult. So I guess I think
you had an angry
Huh?
tweet or two about that, I recall.
well, it wasn't really like an angry tweet. It was just I don't know that it matched my expectations, because same with Dan, like the hype around the game. I don't really know what I was expecting, but I was expecting that if it took off like it had, that it would be a little more polished than it was. Like it's really, really rudimentary in terms of just
Yeah, I mean,
the state the game is in.
looting is like the worst experience ever. It's terrible.
I don't know if it's the Arma engine. I'm guessing it is. Some people have said that, and it seems like it. Like it just seems like kind of a clunky engine. But I think the key to DayZ is playing with people who are already familiar with it. Because I logged on initially on my own, and like once I actually finally got into a server, I was looking around for a weapon and did not find one. Like I spent half an hour looking for a weapon, couldn't find one, and so I basically just spent that whole time running from zombies. And like that's cool, but it also wasn't fun at all, because it's like, all right, I can run away from zombies, but I have no recourse. They just continue to chase me across the map.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not done. I'm not done with it, but it didn't match my expectations based on everything I've heard from people.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that says something if a game is that. I mean, obviously, it's still what?
I mean,
is it an alpha or is
it's
it
really alpha?
Is it really alpha?
Like, yeah.
People are still playing the shit out of it.
It's to the point that I wouldn't, if you don't know anyone that's already playing DayZ, I honestly wouldn't recommend you buy Arma 2 and try it. Like, if you're not playing with people, you're not going to have fun.
If you don't have friends, don't buy this game, you fucking losers.
Alex actually made a good point before I started. He said we have to find the right server, and you have to get like a good play session in, like a 2-hour play session, and then you kind of start realizing what DayZ is all about. Like a 20-minute. My first life was probably about 20 minutes long, and I was like, "This really isn't that fun." But once you start accumulating stuff,
the satisfaction of killing somebody that thinks you're not going to kill them is exactly what makes the game so good.
They just lie on the ground and
when
they're
you
bleeding.
know that you have legitimately ruined somebody's experience, that is what makes it special. Well, it's not me being an asshole. That's what I enjoy in gaming. Like, you like killing people in Call of Duty. That pisses them off. I like killing them knowing that they probably wasted 15 hours prior to that. There's something very enjoyable about ruining somebody's day.
Yep, and I'll close this with a couple things. First of all, did anyone hear what happened to poor Ferez, our new KBMOD web dev? So,
God, no.
Ferez, aka Nightright. I don't know. A lot of you might know him in chat or not, but anyway, he gets on DayZ. He's playing alone. He's actually doing pretty good. He finds a Lee Enfield. He finds some ammo. He's got food. He's got drink. He's doing well, and he's in a building. Okay, and he hears a car like horn start honking outside, and like this vehicle's circling the building, like honking the horn like crazy, and then two people get out and just come in and waste him. He got drive-by, dude. He got and then they got back in the truck and left.
I don't want to have to say. I don't want to say it's a hate crime, but that was a hate crime.
Yeah.
Ever heard one?
So,
Indian.
DayZ trolling videos are the future.
And then also I want to pimp out a video that was tweeted yesterday, and I've tweeted it twice today because it really is that epic. Sarciel, I'm not even sure if that's how you pronounce his name, Sarciel, but he plays with a group that's like super hardcore, but he has a 25-minute video out about them finding this huge cache of loot. And like they have Barrett 50 cals and stuff. Like they found a ton of stuff, and they're up north, which is apparently where lots of crazy shit goes down. And they're running in a squad, and they're like barking out commands, like having dudes flank and like, you know, cover my six, and like everything's going on. And they found like a guy in a ghillie suit, and like they're, you know, it's all very tactical, but it's super intense. It's a great video. Look him up. It's Sarciel is his videos, but they're all good. He has some trolling stuff too, but they're mostly kind of more serious story videos. As we said, you can tell a story with the game. So, but if you're thinking about Arma, you seriously might want to wait because it is pretty fucking buggy. I mean,
yeah, seriously, if you don't know people playing it already, that like you don't have a group to join up with,
I would never play it by myself.
I wouldn't.
Honestly, that's one of the things that drives me to it at this point, because when you first get into it and you really want to be able to just gun things down, like handedly, you want to be in control of the experience, it sucks. But then once you realize that when you're in a gunfight and like the lag lets you not get into your optics fast enough, or they're spraying bullets around you, or you're missing bullets and because they're flanking you, and it gets so chaotic, and it feels like what you'd be in if you were tired and you were hungry and you saw a survivor and you weren't sure if they were going to kill you.
Yeah.
Once you understand how to play the game and you know how to adjust for the bugs, it actually adds to the feel of it, that it's not Call of Duty with thirst, you know?
Right.
If it was Call of Duty with thirst, I doubt anybody would play it. But because when you find a survivor, it's a big deal. You're either going to get killed or you're going to kill. Yeah. I think that's what makes it awesome.
But the intensity is worth it.
We now interrupt your scheduled programming to bring you an urgent broadcast from the front lines of America.
On to the news. And we're going to start with... actually, we're not going to start with that. I'm going to delete that because we talked about it a little bit. But Epic, who we talked about last week a little bit, with Fortnite being a PC exclusive, which is awesome. We'll definitely take that. First Unreal 4 game, so that should be sweet. And now we have news that it's going to be co-op mostly, which it should be. I mean, it's supposed to be like, you know, tower defense, and you're supposed to be playing with a group and building up. And basically, they're considering putting it as an always online DRM on it,
Boo.
which I mean they don't generally do. I don't know that you hear of Epic and DRM in the same sentence very often, but
It's going to be an epic DRM.
Oh man. All right.
Silly.
That was me sucking on your joke cock. You like
That was a great.
whoa,
I don't know what that. What is a joke cock?
Scott's silly. Scott's been around Mr. Sark all day, I think.
So they haven't nailed that down yet, but I'm hoping. I have a feeling it'll go through anyway. It's the trend now. I mean, it's just what you do. You put it always online. So I have a feeling that's gonna actually go through, but hopefully they reconsider it. It just sucks that they could make us so happy and then within a week kind of shit on it a little bit. But
I think it comes down to are they gonna make always online worth it? Like, are they gonna have cloud saves, and are they gonna make it worth my while to keep everything online? Because I don't think Fortnite's gonna have like an auction house and other really big, because obviously the parallel is to Diablo 3 for like kind of unnecessary always online requirements. Nothing I've heard about this game makes me think that it should require an internet connection.
Yep, I would agree with that. Because it looks like it's not... Everyone hates when people compare stuff to Minecraft now. I don't know why, but everyone
Don't compare shit to Minecraft.
Yeah,
man.
no, seriously, that's the reaction you get. It's like, what are you doing, dude? It's not Minecraft, dude.
Man.
God. But it's a lot like Minecraft, so you can probably play it solo. So I don't really see a point to this, but I have a feeling. I just think it's the way everything's going. So you're going to be streaming.
Scott plays solo every time we finish the podcast, and he.
Yeah, dude. God, mute
He
that
masturbates.
microphone.
I cannot turn off my webcam one day, and we can go ahead and broadcast that. It's really what you want. You're asking for it.
So hopefully I don't do that.
I'm not responsible for the deaths of 400 viewers. Not my fault.
The one thing too, that article, it's on Rock Paper Shotgun was initially, I think, who had like the interview with Epic.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they kind of clarified and said that like they really haven't figured everything out. So I don't know that maybe we shouldn't read into this too much, because it sounds like they've
never
still
done it before.
developing the game.
There is something to be said for that, but they also haven't come out with a PC game since like 05.
Yeah.
But so
I mean, I just think I agree with Brandon on one level too. Like, it has to. I mean, if it's going to be always online, it needs to give some value. That was the argument, I guess. The excuse the out we gave Blizzard, right, with Diablo at the time. We're like, well, okay, if it adds value in some way, it's okay. But it's like that's just going to be the trend, I think. And I also think that it's one of those. If it's not invasive, like if it's not a pain in the ass to log into, and I don't really know what's going on, you know what I mean, in the background, I don't really give a shit. But I guess
I mean, I can see people's. I really, the one thing that I don't like is that, some people do want to play it like on a car ride or in an airplane or something.
Right.
Like when I was flying to San Francisco and I wanted to play Bastion or something. I can boot up my laptop and just have fun with that on the flight. And so if you're, I understand wanting to, one, stem piracy, and two, kind of have control of the experience and all that. But if your game doesn't require it, there's no need for it. And I think you're right that like games are going that way just because they are. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if you're gonna, unless your game really requires it, why do you need it?
Yeah. So hopefully they don't do it in the end, but I have a feeling. I just if I had to predict, I would say they would. But so on to some good news though, especially if you're about to build a PC. And for our build guides, possibly next month. I don't know if these price cuts have they went in, Brandon, or no?
I think they should already be in place. So AMD, you guys might remember. I guess when was it? Like a month ago, maybe a little over a month ago. AMD cut the prices of the Radeon line kind of across the board to be more competitive with the 600 series, and we still. I still would prefer NVIDIA cards with those prices.
Yeah.
Well, they just recently dropped their card prices again, and they're definitely more attractive now. The new MSRP for like the 7870 is about $300. The 7850 is like $240. 7850 is a pretty strong card, so that may end up being like a really good we already have one in our $800 build. I think that just kind of solidifies its position.
Yeah.
And so that only dropped like $10, but on an $800 build, you want to count every penny there.
But it looks like, as another good deal though, is it looks like the 7970s dropping to 429.
Yeah, so it looks like the Radeon 7970 gigahertz edition is going to take that $500 spot, or I guess maybe 480 or something. And that, from what I've seen, actually benchmarks quite comparably with the 680.
Yeah.
So their prices are finally coming basically in line with where they should be. So it's nice to see AMD. I mean, you knew that right when they released those cards, they were way overpriced for what they were, and they're finally now, I think, in line to where if you like AMD more than Nvidia, I don't really know many people that's the case. But if you like AMD, they're finally comparable to Nvidia on price and performance.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for those, especially if you're building or if you're on an older card and looking for an upgrade. So, yes. So next, Gamma Sutra, who's, I don't know if it's a site that many people really frequent that would be watching this podcast. It's more of a business kind of a site and more of a really in-depth.
It's a very sexually charged name pun thing. I'm kind of offended by it.
But they came out with a list of their top 30 developers, and there's some that are, no surprise, such as, well, Valve, of course, is on there.
Ken Levine by himself.
But some certain things, like, that I don't get, and maybe it's just because I'm not in the MMO stuff. I don't know. John played Rift for a little bit, I think.
That is a fucking abomination.
Yeah, Tryon Worlds is in this list. Like, I don't have anything against them, but it's just
Do you like clerics? Because clerics are great in Rift.
But I just don't understand, though. That's all. I just don't understand some of these choices. So, like, Valve's on there. Some of the usual suspects. Rocksteady Studios, who did Arkham City. Obviously, great game. Should be on there. I'm looking at some of the ones. Well, here's some of these. These are from across the world. So Smilegate's on here, which is a Korean developer. Can't really say much about them, but the guys who made Journey, which Nick Fenton says is a great game.
It's fantastic. It's my
I always go off Nick Fenton recommendations.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
That is my number one game of this year.
I know,
so
dude.
far.
You said that is your game of the year to me, didn't you?
No, so far this year.
Yeah.
It's a PSN exclusive, and I'll say it. I don't.
Yeah,
give a
that's
fuck.
cool, dude. That's cool. Go ahead and say it
Well,
again.
interestingly, for people saying Treyarch and stuff like that, none of those like big AAA. I mean, some AAA studios are on here, but nothing to do with Activision or Blizzard or any of that is on this list at all. That game company is actually the name of the developer of Journey, which is a hilarious name. The Chinese Room is on here, which, if you don't know the Chinese Room,
The remake of
Dear Esther,
and they're working on the next Amnesia game,
which is a terrifying prospect.
And based off the visuals from Dear Esther, that's not going to be good for anyone.
Yeah.
In the best way.
The atmosphere,
in a good
is
way.
just not going to be good. Riot Games is on here, of course, as they should be. A couple other ones that made this list. This was chosen by other devs, I think, as well, too, which would probably explain the lack of Infinity Ward Treyarch.
Well, they got one vote. They voted for themselves.
Double Fine's on here. That's, of course, Tim Schafer, Psychonauts, and, of course, the new game, the famous Kickstarter now. Eidos Montreal, makers of Human Revolution. From Software, the guys who made Dark Souls. I don't know that they've made anything else, but I think this is based off more recent merits. And our friends at High Res Studios made this list, which really they should.
I think
They're the developers of the year to me.
Yep.
I mean, I don't care if people don't like their games. They've pushed out 2 fantastic games in a very short period of time.
And 2 really competitive games.
Yeah, esports ready games.
Yep.
I think it's impressive they've done it with, they have 50 people working there.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
I'm going to say Zombie Studios has been slighted because BLR is one of the best FPSs on the market right now.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's free to play. It's one of the best PC games I've ever played.
I would agree with you. And
so I think they should be on there over Rift developers, for God's sake.
Yeah, I think Zombie deserves to be on this list, especially when you have you have you have Imangi Studios, who makes Temple Run, the iOS game. Like, that's all they've done, and they made this.
Yeah, I was about to say, in my head, I was like, well, when I read this first, I was like, well, maybe Zombie's not on here because really Blacklight's their only big title. They made the Saw games, I think, before Jared and them actually got there, so, like, but, I mean, it's the Saw games.
But some of these other
BioWare is also on there, and I probably wouldn't put that on my list. Well, yeah.
It was the most successle MMORPG of all.
But I mean, I would probably say BioWare would be on my list if they weren't married with EA at the moment. If they weren't working with EA, I mean, they would probably be up there. But yeah.
But there is a developer on here that I find very interesting, not because they shouldn't be on here, but because the guys who make CD Projekt Red, the guys who make Witcher, right? Witcher 2, those are the only games they've ever made. First of all. That's it. They haven't gone beyond an RPG. Not that the Witcher games aren't fantastic, because they are. And they had that whole controversy this year with lawyering up people for pirating the game and all that stuff. So I feel like, I think this was based more on their merits as a developer than anything else. But
it's developers who are doing something new, something different, something better. So I think it's like each developer on here was picked, for a specific reason.
Yeah, and I would like to see. I want to see there's a few developers that I really, really want to see what their next thing is going to be. CD Projekt Red would be one. I want to see if they're going to do. I don't know if they're doing Witcher 3. I haven't heard anything like that. But what their next game will be, whether they branch out from RPGs to something else, or
will it molest your computer as hard as The Witcher?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
The most demanding game out. And then, of course, I want to see, what is it, Supergiant that made Bastion? Who is not on here, interestingly enough. But Supergiant, I want to see what they do next. So, other highlights on here, the dudes who made Magicka, Arrowhead Game Studios, which I've played. It says 2 minutes played on my Steam.
Garbage game.
This did Jimmy. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. Just fucking own Scott in chat, by the way. Somebody says, "Is this the You Ain't Grizz Baby podcast?" And he says, "No, it's the You Ain't Hutch Scott podcast."
Wow, John. How about we don't look at the chat, okay? Right now, how about we try to focus on what's going on?
I appreciated that part,
but the last kind of surprise on here is Big Huge Games, because they don't exist anymore, and they're on here. They were the guys who made Kingdoms of Amalur and were bought by 38 Studios, and then 38 Studios, as you may have heard, now owes the state of Rhode Island $160 million because they're bankrupt.
I'm surprised Enron's not on this list.
Yeah, if that's going to be on there.
This is horrible.
So, but you can go check that out on Gamasutra. They only put out an article or two a day, so if that sometimes. So you can check that out on there. Next up, we have a game that just fucking come out, please. Torchlight 2. The developers.
Oh my God.
So many questions for the developers because they've been pre-released. Torchlight 2 release date is still planned for this summer, but this is the best quote ever. Runic president Travis Baldry told Joystick, "The end of summer is September 25th or something like that, right? We're still trying to get it done for summer." Well,
that's like everything I did in school for procrastination. It's like, my project needs to be done by the end of the trimester. Okay.
Except you didn't sell your homework for $20.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't already sell it.
If it's for $20, they should be put 6 feet under because they're retarded.
All right, maybe 6 feet ain't so far down, Scott.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm really excited for this game because Diablo just failed basically. But then they go on to say it's a big game and we've still got some polish to go. This game, now keep in mind, this game was going to be released at Christmas at one point. And then it was going to be released before Diablo 3. And then it was going to be released in June. And now it's pushed back to possibly
It takes
September.
a lot of coding to make your dog run back to the city and sell your shit for you.
Yes, that's true.
I don't give a shit. It could take as long as it needs to. That is the best feature.
Yep.
I don't care.
But speaking of it being a big game, and I have this article under there too, many people may have seen this infographic that Runic made, but Torchlight and Torchlight 2, a comparison of like how much stuff is in the game. And it's pretty impressive, actually. Unique areas is one of the biggest ones. So there were only 7 unique areas in Torchlight 1. There's 44 in Torchlight 2. So there's going to be a lot more stuff to explore. The gear, everything is like tripled. Like, it's so much. The item count is nearly double. Unique player skills is doubled. Still only $20. Monster models are nearly tripled. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff packed in the game. But still, if you shouldn't just throw out release windows like every few months. Just come out with the game so we can play it, please. It's only $20, so it's not bad.
I don't care if you're giving me an incomplete game for $20.
Yeah,
I really
patch
don't.
it.
Diablo did it.
Yeah,
I know. I paid
PvP.
I paid 60 for an incomplete game with Diablo. So
Yep.
you know, whatever.
So John mentioned earlier, DayZ isn't COD with zombies.
I think that was Alex.
Was it Alex? Well, regardless, someone is trying to make COD or DayZ COD with zombies. The War Z has been announced.
Okay.
That
It was
name-
actually-
This has to be a joke.
This game was a zombie MMO that was started before DayZ. It's a,
Okay.
it's a
so
zombie
before-
MMO RPG.
Okay.
And I think they saw what happened. At least what I'm gathering from this is they saw the success of DayZ and stole all of the shit that makes DayZ awesome and put it in their MMO. And now it's a race to a full release date. That's what I see. Out
Okay.
of this.
I could see that. Fall 2012 for $30 says the release, which is the same, as this article points out, the same price as Combined Operations. See, the reason that this might appeal to people, though, is if DayZ doesn't improve itself, which I totally think DayZ will, but if it doesn't improve
The
itself...
guy pushes out a patch like every 2 days.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be... this is going to be like casual DayZ. It's exactly how I see it. It doesn't say that anywhere. It doesn't even really indicate that, but I just feel like that's what it's going to be. Like, I doubt you're going to have to deal with water and food. I just doubt it. The odds on survival might be hard, and it might be completely open.
It's not subscription based. It's like a.
No, it doesn't mention.
No?
It just says $30. If it's $30 straight up, I doubt there's a sub. Usually they try to milk you for $60 and then a monthly fee. So here's a bunch of the features from their press release. Big open worlds to explore between 200 and 400 kilometers, which would make some of the areas bigger than DayZ's map. Normal and hardcore mode. The combo first and third person sounds familiar. They are going to have PvP, PvE, and PvP. It doesn't say anywhere whether they're going to have servers that will not have PvP, but that would take away from the game so much, I think, if they're going for that vibe.
It also says it's going to have like strong RPG elements, and I'm just worried about that because one of the biggest sort of draws for me about DayZ is I can be alive for, say, 20 hours game time maybe, or I could have a full AK, I could have a watch, a compass, a map, and if I get shot and killed and someone loots my body, it's over.
Yeah.
But if you have role-playing game elements, are you going to be able to level up a character, and then will you lose all that, or will you just spawn back without any equipment
I have a feeling
with that character?
Spawn back.
No.
There's hardcore.
Hardcore
and
is going to be hardcore
So
will be
hardcore
like
now,
DayZ, and normal would be there's respawn points, I think.
Yeah.
The other thing is there's multiple playable characters. That doesn't really matter. This is a cool thing that they should put in DayZ, though, if it's not coming in. Bounties on people who have murdered a lot. That would be pretty cool, actually.
There is informal sort of.
Well, John would be worth a
unofficial
lot.
John is worth.
bounties.
Yeah, John is worth.
He's worth
I'm an
like
asshole.
3 Enfields and like 10 blood bags.
I'm seeing this is just in on Twitter, but everyone's complaining about hackers and shit in DayZ. Is this happening in the last couple days? Or
The
you
only
guys heard
hacker
this?
I've ever heard of is Dom, who said he could see through the trees.
Yeah, Dom disabled trees. What an asshole.
That's
Of
the
all
only
people
hacker
to
I've
not
ever heard
have
of.
trees, Dom. But no, the only hackers I see are people that
Spawn weapons and shit.
spawn weapons and shit, and then also people who like stream bomb popular DayZ streamers.
Okay.
That's the other thing I've seen. Like the person that gave Diction a bunch of stuff and all that kind of things. But The other cool thing, which I think DayZ will eventually do, is up to 250 players per server for WarZ.
Sweet.
Most of the other stuff is basically, it's going to be on like public and private servers, so it won't be like an MMO server system. It'll be like DayZ, without subscriptions or in-game transactions, Scott. So there you go. At the end.
Okay, there you go.
I think this game could be successful. I like the idea of DayZ.
I want them to change the name.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the name is kind of weak, but I think it's
Muncie.
like if DayZ is a good idea, I think the execution of DayZ right now leaves a lot to be desired in terms of like an actual good, consistent gameplay experience. Because I think the technical issues right now, they were a turnoff for me initially. And I think if you make a more polished game on a new engine or whatever, use a better engine, I think you could probably make a lot of sales in a really short amount of time.
Yeah. So
Can I point out that the Anaconda in chat says, I want to find Viagra and DayZ and walk around with a huge bone.
That would be awesome.
Can you imagine you skipped
You
the
can't
first
lay
person
prone.
and you just got a dick right in front of you?
You can't go prone because your boners
Yeah.
blocking you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, this is the
great.
worst. Why did I take this?
Solid Anaconda.
So-
But you could use your semen to block people's vision if they attacked you or something.
No, you could use semen to like plug bullet holes and stuff.
To stop the bleeding. Oh God.
Bandages.
So, up next, we got the Critical Path project, which actually Fish of Doom tweeted at me today. I'd never heard of this thing. Basically, what it is it's a project where they're interviewing various game developers, mostly really, really big names, or people who've been involved with some of the most influential titles. They're interviewing them, and it's the website is criticalpathproject.com, and it's the interviews on there are only maybe up to 2 or 3 minutes in length. But if you're into Jared Garrettson's Get in Game series about getting into the industry, and we talked about that a couple podcasts ago, this is a really good thing to look at the philosophy behind games, and especially to hear some of like the people who, John Carmack, Ken Levine, Cliffy B, Warren Spector, all these just massive names. The guys who created Street Fighter are on there, like all these massive names, and they're very short to watch, but they're very cool. And I highlighted one to talk about. Warren Spector's the guy who made Deus Ex, the original Deus Ex.
The best game ever made.
And he's a beast. And he basically has an interview on there that just shits on the entire gaming industry now. And basically he says that if all we're going to make are mindless FPS games, he basically... Now, in my head, all I could think of was Call of Duty. I mean, we bash Call of Duty a lot on here, but in my head, that's all I could think of was Call of Duty. But it could mean, just the FPS genre in general. There isn't a game like Deus Ex. And he was like, in my original games, there were parts where you could kill everyone in the game, but it would cost you, like, you couldn't get a quest later or maybe move on. But he just goes absolutely nuts. I don't know if I even play part of this, if it'll even, like, if you'll be able to hear it, but let me see if I can put it on here. You won't see the video, but I don't know.
Yes,
if this
appeal to teenage boys and their power fantasies, because it is
We'll be right back with the KBMOD podcast.
Yeah. So, I don't know if it'll load, but go check out those interviews. It's pretty sweet. There's like probably 100 of them on there. So, it's pretty cool if you want to see stuff behind games and how they think about stuff.
Well, I read an article once. This is kind of the same point. I read an article once by David Jaffe, the guy who created God of War.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically railed against, he said that we need to stop, I'm creating games. Like, the industry needs to stop creating games with stories. That, like, story-driven games have held the industry in terms of tech back.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of get what he's going for in terms of a guy that is actually working on games in terms of a tech point. But I think that's sort of the opposite of what we're talking about right now, where like which direction do you want to go? Do you let the tech slowly evolve based on what you need to tell a proper story? Or do you fuck the fans, basically, fuck the story, and create the tech and just show off, like, you know, Witcher 2 without the RPG elements or story or plot or dialogue kind of thing?
Yeah. And so it's a really interesting site. Again, if you're interested in that kind of thing, definitely check it out, especially if you want to be in the industry at all. It's a really good, there's a lot of good interviews on there also that are kind of like, well, here's the way we develop games, as far as like, you know, the workload. And like Todd Howard, the guy who's behind Bethesda, behind Skyrim, he basically said that they don't, you know, you might think with Skyrim, you know, this massive game, that they would have this huge like planning sheet, you know. And he said if someone comes in a meeting with more than like a couple sentences of what the game's concept is, I don't want to hear it. He was like, I just want a very general like thing, and that's what we're gonna do. So it's very interesting. Check it out, criticalpathproject.com, especially Warren Spector's interview. Just goes ham on all games now. And yeah, so I'm not sure who added this next article, but you can go ahead.
I added this. Someone tweeted this at me today. I forget who it was, but apparently Assassin's Creed 3 is getting an entire dev team just focused on DLC. Which we don't have to really talk about much. I just thought it was weird that they're
and what's really odd, this is an IGN article, and they've already given all the DLC an 8.5, which is even more.
Yeah, that was the crazy. It was all already rated.
But
wasn't the sort of like the genesis of DLC that most games were finished months before release, and so dev teams had nothing to do, so they just created more content for the game? If you're already planning to do that, then it's not fucking DLC. It's more game.
Yeah, put it in the game.
Withheld.
Right.
It's like, here's 100% of the game. Shunk. You get 50%. I'll sell you the rest.
Yep.
And it sounds like Assassin's Creed is going to do like a season pass type thing. It's just, you know, the big.
Okay, as long as it has close quarters for $50, small maps.
Can we get an update, Scott? Are you how much Battlefield are you playing right now? Because I remember when that came out, you justified it by saying that it was really great and you were going to play a lot of it.
It was good, and when I do go back, I told you I get on Battlefield kicks, and I was on a kick that week. I will play it again. And actually, we're doing a live stream tomorrow. I'm sure my live.
Wow, bro.
Battlefield.
Right, can we get that out?
And we're playing close quarters.
What platform are you playing that on over there?
Console. But
that's what that. That's
I have not saying the matter. But it'll be fun.
I hear Upscaled 720 is actually.
Hey Nick, how about you buy Terra and we play together like friends, dude? What about that?
Wow, dude. Going hard.
You're bad, Scott.
I know, it's my fault. I made Nick Fenton buy Terra.
I didn't even credit because I enjoyed the time that I spent on Terra. The short time, I thought it was enjoyable.
Oh, that's beautiful, Nick. That's
good. I'm glad you're not mad about wasting $50 because of me.
I'm gonna punch you right in your face.
Nikon punch. I will edit that part of the podcast out.
Go for it.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, Alex. If you're gonna make 50% more game before the game is out, then just give me the whole game. I feel like that's not a hard concept, but we got to milk the consumer now. So
that's the no return with DLC because
it's never gonna stop, dude.
Companies now they're like, holy shit, look at all the money.
Yeah, I think that just happened with Borderlands 2. I think it just recently started getting like printed and all that stuff.
I thought you were gonna say Borderlands 2 just got reviewed by IGN and got an 8.5.
No, they just started. I think they're starting to make DLC.
It's weird. I think they're going to release a blanket press statement that just says that everything from now on is getting an 8.5 unless otherwise noted.
Was anyone?
So it's going to save them. They're going to be able to fire half of their writing department because at this point, only for minor inconsistencies will they have to have anyone write anything. So it's just like 8.5, and like all the text is like the same. They just insert the game name. Like this game, quite soft.
Was anyone on Twitter the night that Blacklight got their score from IGN? And Jared was like, check it out. We just got our review from IGN. And I just tweeted back immediately without even looking at it.
Yep.
You got an 8.5, right? Yep, it did. It got an 8.5. You don't even have to look. If it's Call of Duty, it gets a 9.
7. Wow, that must be Jurassic Park the game.
Yeah, exactly. So on to
There's like a sheer cliff there.
Yeah,
it just drops off.
On to the last piece of news, and this one involves Friday night game night for this month, Friday the 27th. 9 p.m. We'll be playing all sorts of games. Who knows? Maybe even some DayZ, but that would be a mess.
I'll be there. Scott won't.
I won't be there.
We will definitely play TF2 if John's there. Not that we don't normally, but yeah. So
Well,
come
fun
hang
without you,
out.
Scott.
When is this? This Friday night?
This Friday night.
I'm really in tune with what's going on this Friday night. Well, Nick Fenton will be here this Friday, so I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Nick Fenton's
I can't
coming out to
promise anything.
LA?
I might have to show Nick Fenton a good time, which involves me getting him really high and then doing things to him while he's asleep.
Whoa, whoa! I thought we were going to your casting couch, dude.
Yeah, okay, dude.
Backroom casting.
You're going
couch.
back out to LA?
And there is no job.
Yeah, he's
Jeez,
coming
man.
out.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm leaving.
Wow, dude. Wow.
And
Just
Jordan
money,
and Scott are having a custody battle over me.
money
Yeah,
bags
they're
Mick
like-
Fenton. Jeez.
We're
Commercial
literally the end of the world is nigh because we're fighting over who Nick Fenton is staying with right now.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Captain Sparkles wins that because he has like 1,500,000 subscribers. or
Which
something.
household has the possibility of a CO2 gas leak?
Well, probably Scott's.
Then go to Scott's because hopefully you won't come back.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for doing my work.
But good.
Wait, so you're fighting over who has to house Nick Fenton, right? Like you're like the.
I don't
shortest
understand
straw
it. It's like like they're fighting over where I have to stay for free. Like what an issue.
I don't know what you did, man. I don't know what you. I don't. Know
I'm not even like begging. I'm not like, hey, can I please stay at your place, man? I didn't even get a hotel. It's like, no, you're gonna stay with me.
All right. So
It was like a custody battle. He's like, yeah, Jordan might want me to stay with him, or I might stay with Jordan for like 2 days. I was like, that's fine, but you're on mine on the weekend.
wow, dude. I can't believe anyone would fight over Nick Fenton. I'm pretty impressed.
well.
It's time for the KBMOD Roundtable. Get ready to discuss a topic.
So a roundtable this week. There have been a few interesting articles. At least I thought they were interesting about like different kind of the downsides of console development, and maybe these get covered a lot on general gaming websites or console gaming websites. But I haven't really come across this kind of stuff, so I thought this was interesting. There were a couple of articles like on Penny Arcade Report and Ars Technica. And one of the big ones was about Fez, which is a popular console game, as I understand it. They put out a patch for, I guess they're on Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah.
And they put out a patch that had, feature updates, bug fixes, and whatnot. And there was a huge issue with it. Like, I think it was corrupting saves, and it was really bad. So they instead of releasing a patch to fix that patch, they decided to roll it back, and they're not releasing a new patch because it costs $40,000 to release a patch for console. So there's that, and then also I thought there was a pretty good article on Penny Arcade Report by Ben Kuchera, who I know Dan's a big fan of.
Dan's favorite.
And
Recently, he's been doing good things. Come on now.
Well, he talks about how Xbox Live is just basically cluttered with ads, and all the kind of the ugly side of the amount of money Microsoft charges for these ad spots. And so I just thought it was an interesting topic about how basically developing for console from a monetary perspective and just getting noticed and all of that seems to be a lot more difficult. When you look at Steam, you don't really hear about those kinds of things with Steam, and it doesn't cost a ton of money to put out patches. There's a lot more freedom with PC development.
Well, I remember when we've had Jared on a couple times, I remember he mentioned that I think somebody seriously asked in Twitter, and I've seen people ask on his videos, is Blacklight coming to console? And he just straight up goes, no, dude. It's not worth my money. It's not worth my money and not worth my time to go on console. It's not worth the loss of freedom. And I have seen different zombie guys, not just Jared, tweet out basically Steam just lets you do There is like a certification process for patches, but I don't think it takes very long at all.
I don't think it costs $40,000.
No, it doesn't cost any money. I don't think.
Well, that's the thing that's most ridiculous to me. Like, what does Microsoft need $40,000 for?
They want to make sure you're serious about fixing your game. There's all those bitch ass fucking devs out there that aren't serious about fixing their games. If they gotta pay for it, you know.
Well, but it's interesting because this is at least one of the first cases I've seen where, like, basically there's a developer that's being actively discouraged to make their game better, and they actually have already put in the work to make it better, but they're just not releasing it because it costs them so much money.
And all the hate that guy was getting on Twitter, he fucking took it. He was like, "You're all fucking idiots." I was like, "You're awesome."
Yeah.
All the fans of his game were telling him how shitty it was that he wasn't patching it, and he was like, "And you're fucking dumb.
Yep.
Fuck you, suck my dick." And he was just going through like every single tweet somebody sent him, and he was just tearing them to shreds. Like, "You're a lazy developer," and he's like, "And you're a piece of shit. Go fuck your mom." And he would just go on and on with it forever. And he spent like a whole day just telling people how much they sucked for giving him shit.
Yeah.
And I was really happy for him.
It's not them that I don't really think they're at fault. Like, if anyone who's done any software development knows that, like, bugs can slip through, and it's unfortunate that such a serious bug slipped through that they actually had to roll back to their previous version. But because it would cost them, a lot more money to put out the patch that was in the fixed state, I mean, I think the blame falls on Microsoft for that. It's something
why
that you don't hear about that often.
Do we have a background as to why it's $40,000? Where is this cost?
That's just what it costs.
I remember Jared saying when we first had him on, when we asked him about, when we hadn't talked to him at all, so we had background with him, and, Blacklight Tango Down and all that. And when he talked about Tango Down, he said basically we wanted to patch that game. So it's a similar situation, but the publisher didn't want to spend the money to patch the game. So, like, when he said when people call it a shitty game, I'm like, well, yeah, it wasn't as good as it could have been for sure, because I couldn't afford to patch my own game because Microsoft makes it cost $1 bajillion to do so.
So when you do the patch with Microsoft, do you have to do it in Microsoft points?
How much is $40,000 worth of Microsoft points?
Shit.
Okay.
Enough to buy this year's Call of Duty DLC.
Maybe not enough. It's enough.
I think they just buy stacks of the little credit cards with Microsoft points on them.
That's actually
devs have to go to their local GameStop. Hello, I'd like to buy $40,000 worth of Microsoft points. You're patching your game? Okay, dude, sweet.
Oh my god!
Has to take a wheelbarrow to GameStop to haul out all the cards.
They just have trucks that have exactly $40,000 worth of Microsoft points.
God damn!
But I mean, I think you see that now. There's been no news at all as far as the next generation, as far as 720 or PlayStation 4, as to whether or not that kind of a situation is going to not be the case anymore. But you would have to think they're looking at that. I mean, look at all the indie developers that have essentially stopped putting out, they go to PC immediately because what's the barrier for entry for PC? Almost nothing. You can even distribute the game on ModDB first, and then, if it's, people like it.
You can distribute your game on fucking MediaFire.
Yeah. What is it, like the Slender game and the other God, what's that website? But like the Stairway game and stuff. Yeah, those are simple little games, but they're just distributed. I know the Stairway game you just download off MediaFire, so it's like there's no barrier there. I'll just upload it to a file sharing site. Here's my game, but it just, I don't know. You have to think, and that's how that. Well, don't mention that. Well, yeah, I'm not going to go into that. Or however the fuck you pronounce that thing.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stop. No.
We can't bring her out yet.
If you think about, like, a small developer, $40,000, that's a yearly salary for someone. So if you just have to, you think about the time it takes to add features or to fix bugs and that sort of thing. not only do you have to spend the time, which costs money,
you have to kill an employee.
Yeah, you do essentially.
Well, think about it. If VLR was on PC, they'd have to let Rick Leslie go right now.
Yeah.
Good point.
And by let go, we mean leave him up in the woods with a broken leg.
Hey guys, I was at a deer stand and I fell out of it. I should have got night vision goggles, but I have broken legs now. Can you come get me?
That was his little Twitter story the other day.
I saw that.
So good. Poor Rick Leslie.
So funny.
But I don't know. I just can't see that model flying. Although with Microsoft's stubbornness, you never know.
Well, I guess in some way it's a good thing then, because if these devs are going to give up and be like, "Fuck it, let's develop for PC," then
yeah, I think we're going to keep seeing more developers putting stuff out on PC. Like we'll still see cross-platform, but I think there's going to be a lot of. I guarantee you that indie devs right now are way more attracted to the Steam idea, especially when you see how like the summer sale is basically an event unto itself at this point. And if you know you can release your game on Steam and get a ton of publicity for probably much, much less than it costs to get that same type of ad spot on Xbox Live, I think that you're going to see indie devs making games for PC first.
Yeah, and that would be a good
it's
switch.
more financially viable.
Yeah, and what happens if your game comes out and then it's broken on day one? Like, crap.
Yeah.
We just put all this money into releasing this game, and now we have to spend $40,000 almost immediately to fix it. Not even knowing what our sales really are. So...
Yeah, and I guess the other side of that argument is that like Microsoft, I guess, wants to encourage you to put out, a polished game, a polished product. But like I said before, if you've done software development, you know that stuff is going to slip through the cracks. That's how software is always going to be.
You think Microsoft would know that, making such awesome products as Microsoft Outlook and things like that. So
what a classic.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Oh, hey, look, your PST files can't be over 1 gig or things start getting fucking real. Oh, cool. I used fucking Outlook 2007 for fucking 30 years at my company. Oh, cool. How big is your PST file? Oh, look, 10 gigs? Yeah, I'll get that back for you in 2 seconds. You fucking idiots.
Sorry, that was IT rant. IT rant just killed Scott. Wow. Wow. I've been there.
Drop the mic.
I've been there. I've definitely been there, Scott. Wow.
It's only so funny because like everything he just said is entirely true.
He wasn't exaggerating. That
is not an exaggeration.
That happens all the time.
So mad.
Dude, that's me. I have to take walks at work just so I don't just throw a monitor or something. It's just IT support kills your soul slowly but surely.
I don't know how you do it, Daniel. I don't know how you still do it. I don't know how you and Brandon still work in IT.
Do you have any other good
you guys are saints.
Scott?
What?
Do you have any other good tech frustrations?
Oh my god, dude, we got so many we could go over. At least in daily support.
We go some roaming profiles, some corrupt profiles.
Oh my god, roaming profiles, so much shit. Why is my shit not there? This is not my account. Yeah, it's not your account, you fucktard. Did you see what you're like?
It's just in. Scott's former employer is suing him for defamation of character.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's every IT support. That's all of them. That's not just Scott's
I feel like,
experience.
yeah, don't you feel like if your company uses Outlook, like I felt like 70 to 80% of my time was dealing with Outlook issues when I worked at that
The
company.
best is that the from field went away. How do I get that back?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I don't know. Play around a little, you fucktard.
The part that I missed when Scott worked in tech was sent from my BlackBerry.
Oh yeah,
that's what I missed.
Yeah, that was the best. Yeah,
my BlackBerry. Listen, actually.
So that was our roundtable. It was pretty good. Hopefully Microsoft. Well, actually, hopefully they don't get the message. I'm cool with it how it is. So, but next I want to talk about, since we are on episode 52. And yes, we have passed, or someone tweeted at me today, well, a year was July 7th, Dan. Well, I know that. But we have 52.
Fuck up, nerd. Fucking nerd.
Cool, man. Let's not just ruin our day.
Wow, dude. Fuck the fans times a million there, dude.
In that order.
So I basically
that guy feels so bad now.
Yeah, he feels terrible.
Sorry. Just kidding.
So,
you even gave him like a really bad voice. You're like, it was actually... Like,
It's actually July 7th, the day I got my first erection and creamed all over the chapel.
is that 140 characters? Dude?
That is nuts tonight.
He used Twit longer because he's a fucking nerd. That's why.
So, I just wanted to kind of go around maybe and say some of our favorite either whole podcasts or favorite moments, because there's several moments obviously which may or may not become animated at some point.
I was reminded of one of my favorite moments today when we relaunched our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Wow. Straight from the press release that is Brandon's mouth.
Beautiful. Well played.
Yeah, we have relaunched our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KBMOD
And if you have not
Gaming.
seen the animated short that Apple Basic made, you need to watch it.
It's awesome.
My favorite moment was all of the podcasts that Nick Fenton wasn't here.
Oh, that's great.
The first 4 months, John was in heaven. Since then, crap.
Well, the cat fingering story was one that was funny, because just hearing my favorite part of that is not even telling that story. It's John's laughter. John's like, he's done.
was like losing it.
I don't even know. I can't replicate John's like.
Seriously, we spent like an hour on Quick Meme making various cat fingering meme pictures.
The best part of the short though is Nick Fenton. This is like, I'm taking off my headset. I'm done.
I'm done.
He just can't even handle it. But I think the podcast
I love when Alex called Nick Fenton a talentless Yoda.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And the multiple podcasts where I was made aware that I'm a relief pitcher.
Yeah. The cereal story.
Yeah.
Another great one.
Sleeping on the bags of
I
cereal.
don't remember telling that story. I think I blacked out during it.
Well, you're gonna. It'll be enshrined on YouTube forever.
Yeah. Teaser. Wow. Okay. I think my favorite podcast ever actually was either having Todd Harris on or the first time we had Jared on. Just because the first time we had Jared on, we didn't know what we were doing at all with a guest, because he was our first industry guest, and then he was on for the whole podcast, and we were just like, what is happening here? And then he just shit all over Activision, which we were like, yeah, all right. Wasn't expecting that. So that was amazing. And then Todd Harris was great just because what a dude. But,
I liked having the depth developer on too, which is nice. But by the way, depth is no longer being made.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. What happened with that? That sucks.
It's directly related to his appearance on this podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
someone's mentioning the pig squeal that Nick Fenton did.
Yeah, he will never do it again.
Yeah, he won't do it again. He's a pussy.
I know.
Well, I'm sick, so.
Well, back to depth real quick. I kind of had a feeling it would happen when, I believe during our interview with him, he mentioned that they lost some people, and he was basically doing everything.
He was doing like all the development himself, wasn't he?
Man, that sucks. That sucks.
So the hidden. And
so
depth,
now he needs to make
please.
the hidden. Yeah.
R.I.P. Both of those games, Valve, please, and with all your money, resurrect both of these and make them.
Email Gaben, dude.
Alex,
I will. Fuck. Right now.
Email Gabe right now.
Hold on. Gabe.
Have you ever heard of a source mod called the
Got him
Hidden?
on GChat.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey, Gabe, you want to make a game, dude?
Hey, dude,
Tennis Psycho, message him for me, please. Yeah, that was probably the best when we started using documents, and I look in the top right corner and I see Tennis Psycho, and it's Alex.
Tennis Psycho.
Alex's Gmail account was Tennis Psycho.
He's a tennis psycho. He's crazy about those
Dude,
dudes.
he's so
bro.
good at tennis. You ever seen his forehand? Jesus Christ. So good.
Okay.
Scott forgot that this is the podcast. and
I'm
not the
sorry.
post
I'm
show.
blacking out. I'm totally blacked out.
Another cool thing, and this is something that I've sent to everybody whenever it happens, but is all the messages we get about the cast, getting people through tough times, because honestly was never expecting something like that. So
That was cool.
Very cool, and thank you for that. And also big thanks to Incredible Orb for listening to the podcast while he makes rule plans. So congrats to Orb.
While he makes what?
He's an operator,
Operates
dude.
rule plans.
He operates
my bad.
rules plans.
Yeah.
Oh.
He listens to
Does
the
he?
podcast
Is that what
while
he
he
does?
operates
He
rules
listens to it,
plans. Yeah. John is now a shadow with his e-cigarette. Yes.
Also, thank you for thank you for buying and backing up the entire Steam library in case Steam ever goes down.
Yeah, that's appreciated. I've been whining to me how you never have money to do anything.
In case Steam goes down indefinitely, we can just get Orb to seed all the games.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Fenton, but yeah, you're right. Orb has bought everything.
But we're not.
Wow, I wasn't talking about Nick, but apparently you are.
The podcast isn't done or anything for tonight, but thanks all of you for tuning in. We've been wanting to do it live for a while, so these last 3 weeks have been awesome. It's really fun to do it live. So, there's Apple's Basic in chat. I listen to the podcast while I animate the podcast.
That is fucking.
That's so meta, dude. That's so meta. That's really dark. That's so meta and niche and edgy and deep and dark and just really great.
Wow.
I've liked all the developers that we've had on, all the guests we've had on. I've really enjoyed all of those. But I think my favorite overall podcast was our awards show.
Yes. The first live show ever.
Yeah. 10
people or whatever on that call.
Bob absolutely abusing the Logitech webcam.
He was a velociraptor. He was like a baby, I'm pretty sure, with fucked up eyelids and.
Oh my goodness, Bob. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in every week for the past 52 episodes.
52.
I remember us joking at like 2 or 3, like this will last 9, maybe 9 or 10, then we'll lose it. But once we got over the You Ain't Grizz Baby hump, we were good.
That's right.
I thought you were gonna lose it when Mike Pollock started talking about Need for Speed, but
yeah,
you overcame that challenge.
Did I? Did I really? So, yeah,
we made it through that.
Yeah, good call. Oh, that's beautiful, Daniel. Oh, I love that.
And now it's time for Twitter questions with the KBMOD podcast.
First question is from S Salachi6. It says, choose one podcast member, present or not, to be your surrogate mother for your next child. Who would it be in life? I'd like to get Nick Fenton's answer first, please.
Surrogate child.
No, I'm ruling out Mike Pollock because he can't be
has
driving
been on the
that fast with my
podcast.
child
That's true.
in his womb.
That
not
is
a
true.
podcast member, you dolt.
He has been on the podcast, though.
Oh, I thought it was like
that was the worst. That was the worst podcast ever. Laughing.
I thought it was like a podcast member. I'd probably go with Scott.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was a shocker.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's surprised.
I'd go with Brandon because
actually, Brandon would be the reasonable
do my
choice.
laundry and all of my things would be put in order.
Yeah.
Like Brandon would be the smart choice. Like he's a well put together man. He's organized. I feel like he could get that. He would get that child out of his womb in a reasonable amount of time.
Because he would smooth the peanut butter on the PB&J sandwiches like it was thermal paste, and my kid would eat the best sandwiches. Although they would take 3 hours to make, so he'd probably. Brandon takes 3 hours to make PB&J.
Brandon would be one of those.
Does he smear it with a credit card?
The sandwich.
This is my he didn't say credit card. This is my peanut butter credit card. He has a drawer like with the silverware. It's just like 50 different credit cards.
You scrape that tuna with my jelly credit card? You don't do that.
You go to Brandon's house and he has the cutlery rolled in a napkin. You unroll it, it's different credit card.
No, that's the salad credit card, and that's the soup credit card.
The soup credit card is
I was gonna say I think Brandon muted himself, but no.
Oh. Brandon is the smart answer.
Brandon is the right answer too. I think I would go with Brandon.
Glad to know you would also be first as the surrogate mother of your child.
Can Brandon bear all our different children at the same time?
That's amazing. Dude. Brandon can be Octomom, yeah.
Can you please come up with a sex tape?
And then he starts doing a sex tape, and oh god. Oh,
I would pick Scott.
Yeah?
No use.
I'd pick Scott. He was quite good with
You're not a mother. You're a surrogate mother.
Scott, my son, and I watched the old X-Men cartoon together.
Yeah, I watched it there too. Yeah. I was there.
So there you go. We watched the fucking most messed up episode.
Dude, the most messed up episode ever of X-Men, perhaps. Where they get taken to that game show, alien game show. Oh my god.
I think I would probably pick Alex because Alex is pretty skinny, and so like around the 6-month mark or so, that baby bump would really show through. And everyone would know.
Baby bump.
You into that prego stuff, huh? Yeah. All right.
I like how I have to look at you when you say things with that filter on, and it just looks. Look at you.
All right, next
God, stop it. Stop it.
Next one comes from at UDP7. He goes, "What's your favorite Lunchables?"
Clearly,
I like the
Lunchables.
pizza ones. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Always.
Definitely pizza ones. Yeah.
I've never actually had the pizza one.
It's not even pizza, really. It's
You explain to me.
it's
It's
a
like
cracker with sauce and cheese and pepper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so good. I always loved it.
Thanks for removing that picture.
Wow, who removed Agent Cody Banks from this? I bet it was Brandon. Bet
It
you.
absolutely wasn't me. I wouldn't remove
Wow,
that.
dude.
We need to restore the order.
All right, well, Agent Cody Bangs has got nothing on Agent Toki Bongs.
Agent Toki Bongs.
I used to get Lunchables once a week back in elementary school. It was like the highlight of my fucking week. My mom would be like, "You can have one Lunchables," and I'd be like, "Sweet."
Was your mom the principal from
I don't know.
recess?
She didn't. And then apparently you were like the deepest voice in the world. You're like, sweet.
Yeah, you were also like, "You're my fucking Lunchable, mom."
She's like, "Why do you talk like that?"
Because I'm a real OG. That's why.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stay on topic here.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I
Pizza
really.
one's the obvious answer.
The ham and cheese is like chewing silly putty, Lonster. You're so right.
Yeah.
But I've still eaten it. It's like the most processed. That and the turkey are just. But it is what it is. It's what you get.
It is what it is.
I mean,
You ever had? Then they started coming out when I got older. They started coming with like chicken dunkers.
Let's get Lunchables, Scott. Let's go get Lunchables this
We'll
weekend.
get Lunchables. All right.
Wow, dude.
Let's have a Lunchable picnic.
Can I suck your dick afterwards?
I suppose.
Thanks.
At Rostamon Reflash,
Rastaman.
do you ever think you'll come to the point where you lose touch with technology? I'm not saying that, John.
Say,
John has written an incredibly offensive line after this question. Hopes I'll just accidentally read it as the first part of the question.
I don't know what this is actually meaning, but no, I'm too invested in tech to
like.
I think he means like when we're old. I think he means like when we're old. Do you think you'll ever lose touch with technology? Right? Because I mean, old people today typically have a tough time with.
Because they didn't have it growing up. I think that.
I don't think I will because I mean I've grown up with it. Like I don't know that it's ever going to leave my life.
It's a generational thing. At this point.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah.
We'd probably like be slightly behind, but not as far as like our grandparents are.
We'll always want to be up on it. I think all of us like technology.
I'll have my hovercraft at 40.
Yeah, there are plenty of old people that want to learn about technology. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of person.
I think the only difference is that I'm going to turn my Windows font up to like 24.
You can't see anymore.
Yeah. So I can see anything.
When he's still editing KBMOD articles.
50 years
Welcome
from now.
to KBMOD Podcast number 543.
I can't believe we're on 504.
I'm the only podcast member that's still alive.
I'm talking to myself, but that's okay.
We'll all be in like Futurama. We'll all be like heads in jars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking to ourselves on the podcast.
All right. Ooh, who wants to read this one? This one's special.
Well, Brandon should.
Yeah, Brandon definitely should.
I think this is an Alex question.
Ooh.
Really?
Go for it.
I'll do it.
John will do it. Yeah, you got to
Who
read
has
it.
been your favorite guest on the podcast after a year? With an apostrophe R-E.
Who has been
Who has been your favorite guest on the podcast? First of all, learn fucking grammar, you retard. If you want us to take you seriously, please correctly use your. 2. They're all different things, and you should probably learn which one's which. And my favorite guest on this podcast has been probably Garrettson.
Yeah, Garrettson, who hopefully will make a triumphant comeback soon.
My favorite guest has been Nfen. You know, we'll never know if he'll come back next time.
You never know. Week to week.
So we sort of just sub it in for someone.
I think I'm probably my favorite guest too. I'm really hoping I can, step up from just relief pitcher guest.
Yeah.
At some point.
I would go with Jared. Definitely, he's always entertaining.
Dad looks like the Trolls doll now. I want to like comb his hair.
Blacklight Attack is not a guest though, Gatman.
No,
if
he comes
Blacklight
on
Attack
when he
didn't
can.
work these hours that he works, he'd be on all the time.
Yeah, he's a legend.
He has an open invitation for every time.
You just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Nick.
Got an open
Like I
invitation.
said earlier, I've really enjoyed all our guests, but I think it's probably a tie between Todd Harris and Garrettson. Both really just excellent interviews and all around great people.
Gun to your head, who do you pick? There's no copping out right now.
Huh?
Jared makes better TV, so Jared. Boom.
I picked David DiMartini.
I feel like if we can get David DiMartini, we should, because that would be...
I picked the quotes of David DiMartini as my favorite podcast guest.
Kiss me like this.
Come on, put it in.
The next question rather is very, very good. From Tuck Chesta, he asks precisely how much of Scott's channel is actually made up of aggressive sniping gameplay.
Before anyone answers, I would just like to say that Scott, you're extremely likable. You're very well spoken, and you're just a beast at the game.
Thank you, appreciate that. I don't know. You have to go.
Wiser words
Yes.
have never been said.
Go back in my videos and look at I don't know, the first 4 months of my channel. There's a lot of aggressive sniping gameplay, so you can go fucking watch it and you can go like it. Okay.
I'm hoping like the future of your channel is more kind of around the topics of like cervix pounding.
Cervix Pounder 420, yeah. Colin is a legend for that. That's the best gamer tag ever.
That is the best gamer tag ever. I mean, I would totally agree. So, this next question is from It's Danaconda. What do you like? What?
Talking about your penis.
How many lobsters would it take for Nick Fenton to break down and do the truffle shuffle in the middle of an interstate?
I like how it's not just like, would Nick do anything?
Do a truffle shuffle. Dude, that's like, would a part of his brain just break? And he would, I don't even...
Well,
like,
I just have to say, oblivious Rick Leslie tweets at all of us to play DayZ while we're on the podcast. Come on, Rick. Come on. All right.
I have a fear of lobsters, but I have a fear of lobsters while I'm in water. I'm not afraid of a lobster on land. I can fight a lobster on land.
No, you couldn't.
I'm not.
I think you need to fight one, Nick. You can't just pick it up. You gotta fight it out, dude.
Fight.
PAX, fight me at PAX, lobster. Get a representative, and we will throw down in the octagon.
Okay, here's a serious question that's kind of off of this, but Nick Fenn, if the only way you were able, you're like the last person in your area, you have no way of getting anyone else, and the only way you can get off is if you use a lobster. Would you use a lobster to masturbate?
Oh, I thought you meant like get off, like get out of. What? Like I thought you meant like escape something. I'm gonna ride a lobster.
Nick Fenn, if the only way you were able to ejaculate,
I couldn't.
Was with a lobster.
I could not get sexually aroused with a lobster.
Okay.
Even if I wanted to.
All right.
Well,
that's honest.
The answer is no.
At Ruthless Badgerass, if KBMOD formed a rap group, what would it be called?
Another
brothers against Nick Fenton.
I honestly no other names besides Cervix Pounder are able to be thought of.
You can kick me off your rap group. It doesn't matter because I'm just gonna be doing collabs in the studio with your boy Bangs.
Let me take
check out my CRT monitor, girl.
We would definitely Bangs would definitely be a guest on the album if we had an album though, for sure.
I have him on Skype. Should I add him?
No, please don't add him to the call. You already did that to me during the stream.
You added Bangs?
Yeah, he didn't answer. But dude, get Bangs out of here.
Bangs is in.
Oh my god, your boy Bangs! Oh, the answers. Oh shit!
Come on. How do I remove him?
Nick Fenn, if you can't.
I think the host has to remove him.
Nick Fenn has
Alright, I removed him. Okay, Bangs was almost on the podcast. That would have been really bad.
Man, that would be my favorite podcast guest.
Hello.
Alright, at Langston LOL asked, what's the simplest game you've ever played that kept your attention longer than you thought it would? That's a weird question.
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper.
Tetris. Play Tetris.
Tetris is a good answer.
I play a lot.
Counter-Strike Source.
Online billiards.
Yeah. Geo Wars. Geo Wars is.
Oh, Geo Wars too. Beat my record yet, Nick?
Not your high score.
No, dude, you didn't.
Wow,
I
dude.
just said that.
I'm gonna go with Tetris as well.
Tetris is. I'm actually playing Tetris right now.
Wow, dude. Thanks for paying attention to the podcast, bro.
man.
Thanks.
Brandon's only played Tribes Ascend, so he doesn't really know.
Yeah, he doesn't have one.
No, my real answer is going to be like recently. I would say Limbo.
Yeah, Limbo is really simple, actually.
Yeah, Limbo. Like it was deceptively simple, and so when I couldn't figure out the puzzles, I kept coming back to it because it was like the mechanics are so simple that you just get drawn in.
So, all right. Lavinous Dakota asks, "Will you guys be watching the Summer Olympics? If so, what events are you most interested in?"
I probably won't. Winter
am
Olympics.
very much
Winter Olympics are
interested.
better. You get hockey. You get
Alex
curling,
won't.
you get-
Alex won't be watching because Canada, LOL.
No,
But-
I don't know what you meant by that. I like swimming, beach, and indoor volleyball.
And tennis. You love tennis.
I bet there's a lot of Olympic psychos out there.
Is you know what I really feel like Alex could have qualified for if there was an Olympic sport for deleting your channel and then coming back.
Wow, yeah, you could. Yeah.
I'm a 3-time world champion.
3-time world champ. Channel deletion.
I really like watching the swimming.
Yeah.
Dudes and
Swimming.
Speedos, yeah?
Yeah,
love to
dudes and
watch
Speedos.
those
I mean,
little
that's pretty
packages.
obvious.
I like to watch Michael Phelps take mad bong rips.
Let the guy smoke a bong if he wants to. He won like 18,000 gold medals. If he wants to smoke a bong, he can smoke a bong.
I totally agree.
It's been pointed out that I'm only waiting for the winter skiing events, so I don't watch the summer.
I like winter much more.
All right, boys. Rapid fire time. At Slamtars asks, how fast are rapid fire questions? At Itchy Peoner At Itchy Peoner asks, when Nick Fenton is in public, the children ask their mothers, what's wrong with him? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Not just mothers.
Yeah, a ton of people. At Nick ABC 423, who is the real Freeman? Gordon Freeman or Morgan Freeman?
Gordon.
Crowbar for life.
Yeah, crowbar.
At Sir
If you ask a penguin, you're getting a different answer.
At Sir Supo asks, will you take me for a dinner?
No.
Yeah, Gail.
At Lee Red asks, choose one: date with Gaben that ends with you playing Half-Life 3, or John Carmack's VR headset, or Nick Fenton in a wood chipper.
Okay, playing Half-Life
Nick
3
Fenton
on
in
John
a wood
Carmack's
chipper.
VR headset.
Nick Fenton in a wood chipper is the third one.
No, there's two. I read it wrong. Date with Gaben that ends with you playing Half-Life 3 on John Carmack's VR headset, or the date ends with Nick Fenton in a wood chipper. Which do you choose? I'm going to have to go... It's tough, but I'm going VR headset Half-Life 3.
Nick in a wood chipper.
Me and a wood chipper, so I can reenact Fargo.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to get Fargo, dude. Yeah, you're going to Fargo, dude?
Oh yeah,
I go with Half-Life 3.
Oh yeah, great Twitter account there.
When I come over and eat some lutefisk.
Nubermensch asks, what are the pros and cons of the Zerka flag cap?
This
Bros, you look awesome while doing it.
This is rapid fire
gonna
for
die.
everyone else, but Brandon will have a 10 video out Monday.
Yeah.
The pro is that your channel will mostly consist of aggressive sniping gameplay, and the con is that your channel will mostly consist of aggressive sniping gameplay.
Darkwing02 asks, what will happen before Nick Fenton gets John's permission to die?
What will happen?
When you wake up in the morning, you have my permission to die.
Nothing. Nick's had my permission to die for a long time.
Since he was born, huh?
He's had my command nearly.
All right.
John hugged me in public.
I did.
So that's
And
the,
I think I bought you an alcoholic beverage illegally as well.
No, you didn't, so it's okay.
All right, dude.
Wait, maybe you did.
Yeah, I think he did.
No, wait, no, you didn't. That's illegal, dude.
So that's it for the Twitter questions, and we're coming up to the end here. We did relaunch the YouTube channel today with some Apple's Basic and some cats and the best drawn awkward older brother ever.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah, definitely go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're gonna have 3 new videos out a week, and we'll be posting the podcast on Thursdays. So
yes.
Got 4 videos a week, and each week is a different set of series that'll rotate. So it'll be a good channel. Definitely go subscribe. And thank you so much to 007 Plasma or Brandon for doing a lot of awesome work.
Yeah, he did the background and the
outro.
thing.
So thank you very much.
Yep. And make sure to follow us on the Twitters at KBMOD Gaming. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/KBMOD. And, of course, throw us a follow on twitch.tv/KBMOD.
And remember to pound that cervix.
And pound that cervix.
I
And
hate care
favorite
package
KBMOD.com, which is where you can find our merch and everything else. Thank you very much, guys, for 52 weeks of podcasts. I didn't think we'd make it. But
Yeah, you
this
should
is
probably
definitely
not.
the
Looks
longest
like
running
we
consistent
made it.
podcast now, I think.
we got a long way to go to be PKA, but you know.
They haven't been consistent all the time though. They take breaks. We only took holiday break.
So there it is, guys. Thank you very much. And we will see you next time.
See you later.